Artsbridge Institute brings together Palestinian and Israeli youth using expressive art therapy to help them learn about each other's experiences and hopefully find a common ground of understanding and empathy. Joining me this morning to tell us about Artsbridge and its recent annual gala is the founder, Debbie Nathan. Welcome to Urban Update. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Debbie, first, just tell us what this is all about. Artsbridge Institute. This is a it's really a respite. It's a way to get Jewish Israeli kids, Palestinian Israeli kids, and Palestinians from the West Bank together. Just talk to me about what is it all about?
Well, it's really all about bringing kids together who see each other as the enemy, who very rarely get to interact with each other. In some cases, they never get to interact, and try to bring them together to learn each other's narrative and to learn how to work together.
And I know, which kids are we talking about? Which groups of kids?
All of them, all three. So even
the three being
Jewish Israelis, Palestinians living in Israel, or Arab Israelis, and Palestinians living on the West Bank.
What age group?
15 to 17,
and you
10th
say,
graders.
And you bring them in, and you bring them where?
We bring them to Boston for 3 weeks, but they work in their home communities before and after. And here, what they're going to be doing is really doing an intense 3-week program where they're working together, engaged with each other, living together, and spending about 24 hours a day together.
Wow! And you've been doing this for about 5 years now?
5 years. Yeah.
I guess, what are your observations? How do these 3 weeks develop? How do the kids develop over these 3 weeks?
The transformation is pretty amazing in these kids. They come together and there's a curiosity mixed with fear. And kids come for different reasons. Some kids come because it's a trip to the States. Some kids come because they're really curious about the other. And some kids come because they want to let the other side know who they are.
Now, to put this in some perspective, these kids would have no opportunity to do this at home, to even meet each other, know each other, would they?
Israelis are not allowed into the West Bank, and Palestinians need a special permit that can take up to a month to get, if they get it at all, to go into Israel.
And even within Israel, talk about the separation between these Palestinian kids and the Jewish kids.
You have kids in Jerusalem that live 3 blocks from each other and never interact with each other. They don't speak the same language. They go to different schools. Their culture is completely different. And it's as if they're in 2 separate worlds. So
this must really be an eye-opener for these kids when they come to the States and interact with each other.
You know, it's the first time for the vast majority of these kids that they've been in an environment that wasn't filled with violent conflict. So I don't know if people can imagine what that's like. They don't know any other existence but that of conflict, violent conflict, and war.
Now, you've been doing this for 5 years, as we said. Do you have a sense of the impact that it's making? I mean, what happens when these kids go back? Do they just sort of go back to what they were doing before in terms of not speaking to each other or interacting with each other at all? Any long-term friendships or bonds formed?
Oh, that's a good question. And we work very hard to make sure that they sustain the ideas, they hang on to those relationships. So they're together on Facebook. We get them together 3 times during the following year for seminars, which work on, okay, you had this experience in the States, you got these great ideas, now you're back. How do you sustain those ideas back where it's not so easy, where people may not be agreeing with you?
Have you had any feedback at all from the kids on that?
Oh, yeah.
What do they tell you?
It's hard. Really? And one of the things that they say, you know, the first year we did this, the first summer was right before the Gaza war. So, of course, we had the first summer, and then December, the Gaza war started. And I was getting Facebook messages and emails from the kids saying how it's so much harder than it was before. Because before, they just took their sides, and it was easy. But all of a sudden, now they're seeing people on the other side, and it's not so easy for them. So what you need to do is you need to support them and help them understand that that difficulty is a good thing. It means they're thinking.
What impact do you think coming here to the United States has on these kids. I mean, we are a pluralistic country,
Yeah.
and they come from a very divided place. What does that, how does that factor into how these kids are impacted?
I think it's an eye-opener for them. They're certainly shocked when they get here, especially since we're on a college campus, which is diverse and huge, and it changes their idea, number one, of what America is, but also gives them a sense of another way of being in the world that they've never experienced before. So for them, it's huge, and they begin to realize, wow, you know, we're just teenagers. Our experiences, these aren't the experiences we're supposed to be having.
Do you, does this, I guess, how much hope does this give you? I mean, we've seen the, this divisive problem in that part of the world for, for a very long time. I guess, how much hope does this give you, what you're doing, your little piece of what you're doing here?
Do I believe we're going to create world peace tomorrow? No. But I do believe that this is the generation that's going to make the difference. You know, people say, oh, we've been doing this, it's not working. But the truth is, we've only been doing work like this for the last 10, 15 years, since the Oslo Accords. We are raising a generation of youth that has the potential to make the difference. And when I see these kids, I realize that they are the future.
Okay, and we'll leave it right there. Debbie Nathan from the Artsbridge Institute, thanks for coming in, and good luck with a tough job. Wow.
Thank you.